Right, you're watching this video because you're thinking about whether to take your mortgage on an interest-only basis or a repayment basis, and I've got quite a bit to say about this. If you're buying a property for buy-to-let purposes, you may want to maximise your income and keep your expenses to an absolute minimum, which may lead you to take an interest-only mortgage. And depending on your tax position, whether you're a nil, basic or higher rate taxpayer, you may be able to claim the mortgage interest as a tax-deductible business expense, and we refer you over to a qualified accountant to get the right tax advice in that area. The thrust of this video is to talk about repayment versus interest only for residential mortgages, and the vast majority of mortgages that we would arrange for residential purposes would always be repayment, and that's because a repayment mortgage, whether it's over 25, 30 years or different term, guarantees, as long as you make all of the payments, that at the end of the full term of the mortgage that you have no mortgage balance left to pay. So if you want to retire mortgage free, so I'm currently 38, my state pension age is 68, so I've got 30 years to get there. I know I want to be mortgage free by the time I get to 68. If you want to join me on that journey, then you absolutely need a repayment mortgage. But there may be times where an interest only mortgage is suitable. And I'll give you some examples. So it might be that you've got more than one property. You have a property that you and your family live in, and you've got a second residence, in a picturesque location, holiday home if you like. And it may be that that property is partly for you and your family to use and your friends, and partly to rent out as a commercial holiday let. Okay, so you might want to have the cheapest monthly payments on your second property because it's not your main residence. Another scenario which interest only might be beneficial is if you have other investments which are either worth more money now than your mortgage balance is, or are projected realistically to be worth the same or more than your mortgage balance is now in the future. So it may be that you have stocks and shares investments, pension, ISAs, etc., which have a value which will exceed that balance in the future, and that might give you the confidence, if you're happy to allocate those funds to that mortgage, to take an interest only facility now, so you benefit from cheaper payments now to your mortgage provider, and your investments take care of that balance in due course. The other scenario would be if you're 55 years of age or older, because some lenders now have opened up retirement interest only, and that's because there's a lot of people in the UK who are in the latter stages of their careers, or they're retired already, who have a small mortgage balance and don't want to use their investments to pay off their mortgage, or don't want to sell up and downsize. They love where they live, they don't want to move, but they don't want higher mortgage payments because in their mid to late 50s or early 60s they're going through a change. They might want to change career, they might want to work part-time instead of full-time. Could be a whole host of different reasons, and there are lenders now subject to criteria, and obviously here we'd be able to talk you through that, Giraffe HQ, that would potentially give you that mortgage if you're in that age bracket, if you have the income to support that debt, and as long as you have a credible plan at some point in the future to repay that mortgage, which with retirement interest only might be on your death and the death of your partner if you live together. And that could actually unlock quite a few different situations. It could give you the opportunity to change career, get a less stressful job, work less, see more of your family, kids, grandkids, etc. Because we're only here for a short period of time. And I often think that one of the biggest myths, one of the things that really binds people to jobs that they hate, is often the resolute commitment to paying the mortgage off in full before they do anything else. And actually, if you speak to one of my advisor team here, what you'd be informed about fairly quickly is there's some quite sophisticated products which in certain circumstances, especially if you've got equity in your property and other investments, that you can actually utilise to reduce your monthly outgoings to your mortgage. So there's 2 or 3 scenarios where an interest-only mortgage might be suitable, but as always, we'd recommend you take professional advice. We'd want to understand your direction of travel and understand your income and outgoings and your life plan before we dispense that advice. So please do get in touch with us if you'd like to discuss that further. Thank you.